Hi, I'm Healy. Welcome to my channel and welcome to a Backyard Shenanigans video. Ladies and gentlemen, I know it has been a long time since I have uploaded a Backyard Shenanigans video or any video about my garden, so let's get straight into it. Alright, y'all know I usually start off with the aloes, and these are how they are looking. A lot of them are sprouting seeds. I saw some butterflies over there. I saw honeybees over there, and they still surviving, y'all. They still looking very good. They looking very good. And the pool cover is closed. That's why it's looking like this. But before I get started showing you stuff around the garden, I just want to show you this patio area. If you remember, they used to have a weight bench, some weights, a treadmill, and elliptical. We got rid of all of those, and this is where I intend to put most of my patio furniture. And then I think I'm gonna put maybe a couple pieces in this area over here, and then maybe even a couple pieces in this area over here. But I am doing a major overhaul. Y'all know I got to switch it up at least once a year. Look like I got to switch it up. I went to Lowe's and Home Depot, and I got these garden wall blocks, and these are the blocks where you can put 2x4s in them to make your raised beds. These are the corner blocks. So I have several of these, and I have some more around the yard. I need much more than this for the project that I'm trying to do, but at least I have something to get me started. As I have begun to dig out the raised beds, I needed a place to put the soil. I'll show y'all where I was putting the soil, and I ran out of space, and then I had to start putting the soil here. So this is just some perlite at the top, but the rest of that is sifted soil. All of this is sifted soil. This is sifted soil to varying degrees. I have some DIY soil sifters that I made, and I have one that has a 1/2 inch on one side and a 1/4 inch on the other side, and then I have another one that has a 1/8 inch screen. So I've been going back and forth between those two. The 1/8 screen when I need to rebuild it, but I've been going between those two sifting soil. So some of them you might see like a little bit more wood chips and mulch and stuff in it, and then some of them are finer grain. This is just some paper, y'all. Please don't let nothing jump out and get me, but that's just some packing paper that I have, and I've been putting that at the bottom of some of my buckets and my raised beds, and just using it like right here. I just have it, just, I don't know, y'all, to what, protect the concrete from the dirt. I don't know, y'all, but I have some of that paper laid down there, but that's that packing paper. And then these 5-gallon buckets, this is what I call my trash. So this is what I find in the garden soil bags after I sift them out. Y'all, this is not soil. If the bag say garden soil, I believe it should be garden soil. In a 3 cubic foot bag, I usually get a 15-gallon pot. This is a 15-gallon pot. I usually get a 15-gallon pot worth of this right here. Y'all, that's ridiculous. These are 5-gallon buckets, but this one back here, it either has soil or the mulch in it. But this is where I have these. This screen right here, so this is a 1/2 inch, and then this here is a 1/4 inch. So I have a 1/2 inch on one side, I have a 1/4 inch on the other side. I started with a 1/2 inch, and then I went back to the store and I got the 1/4 inch, and I just put it on the other side of the same screen, because y'all, I didn't have no more lumber at the time. I had to use what I had. But that's, I wanted to show you that. I knew it was something else I wanted to show you, but that was it. All right, y'all, let's go. I want to start off with these bare root plants. If you recall, I got these from my local grocery outlet. Y'all, I know it say bare root, but can we get any kind of growth at all? These raspberries and blackberries is not popping at all. The one on the left is the Latham red raspberry. That's the one that I tried to piece it together when it first broke, I tried to piece it together with that blue painter's tape, y'all. I don't think that worked. I bought the other one. Well, I brought it back to the store. I got it replaced and I stuck the other bare root in there, y'all. Nothing. And y'all know I've been having them for like a couple months. The next one is the Brandywine Raspberry. Same thing, y'all. They just don't look like they're doing literally anything at all. I actually think that they're dead. I really do. And then this is the Ebony King Blackberry. At least the bark on this bare root is dark brown, you know, but the middle of it is white, just like the middle of these. That's white. This is white at the top, y'all. I don't know. I think these things is dead, but I don't know. I'm gonna leave them in the ground and look and see. I don't know. Maybe it's the first year they work on the root development, and then maybe later on in the summer, the fall, next spring, I'll see something. I don't know. Now, the grapes, on the other hand, these have grown marvelously. The one on the left is the Mars seedless grape, and then the one on the right is the Thompson seedless grape. They are growing very well, and I really need to get these into their permanent places so I can make a trellis for them to vine on. I don't want anything to happen to these grapes, y'all. They look good, but you see the tendrils and stuff is already out. Like, they're already looking for something to grab onto and to vine up, and I do not want to disappoint them, y'all. So before something go wrong with these, I really need to get my garden overhaul done so I can get these grapes where they need to be. Here is the right side 4x4 raised bed. Y'all remember my toilet tissue plant, my toilet roll plant? This is definitely a cabbage, y'all. This is a cabbage. I'm probably not going to do anything with it. I had 6 cabbage plants. They grew well in size, but when I started peeling back the leaves, y'all, aphids and slugs. So I could have saved probably 2 or 3 of the 6, but y'all, I saw that one slug. Nope. So they all gone. This in a row over here of these dead plants that you see in a raised bed, those were the Walton broccoli, and they just did horrible. Something just ate them all up like real quick, and I just pulled them up and just left them there to die and rot. This in this column right here, I believe this might be winter squash. I think this might be winter squash, and you can see, like, as you go from the back to the front, the back is beautiful, and then when you get in the front, look how small that is. I planted all of these on the same day, and these were actually starts, I believe. This column right here is cabbages, and as you can see, something is really having a field day with them. Y'all, I don't really plan on saving these. I plan on digging these up. This is going to go in my compost pile. And then on the end here, if you barely could even tell, these are beans. I forgot what kind of beans these are, but y'all, they doing horrible. So they will be pulled up, put into the compost pile, and then I can start breaking down this raised bed, or maybe not, and you'll see why in a minute. Over here, this is the left side's raised bed, and these beans, now look how much better these beans are doing. These are contender beans and yellow wax beans, and I really need to harvest them because even though they small and they short, they got a slow start, they are really producing beans, and I need to get in here and harvest these beans and decide whether I'm going to pull them up now or whether I'm going to let them grow a little bit longer. These large plants, y'all, I forgot. I think one's supposed to be an eggplant, but I think I dropped some cabbages in here too. I don't know if they're cabbages. That don't look like eggplant, y'all. I don't know. I can't tell you. I also dropped some peppers in here, and I dropped some cucumbers along with some onions. But y'all, things is not looking like they're supposed to be looking, and I'm ready to just tear down all of these raised beds because I gotta do my overhaul, y'all. I gotta do my overhaul. In my color containers, I've planted different kind of flowers, y'all. It was supposed to be one type of flower per bucket, but y'all, the seeds got mixed up. Them little bitty seeds and them wispy seeds, y'all. Look. We just got what we got. I dumped the cabbage in here. Y'all, I must have had too many cabbage plants, little seedlings or whatever. But this is a cabbage right here and some other kind of flower. These are some kind of flowers, and I think they are the same as some other ones I'm about to show you. Here is some more flowers. I don't know what this is down here, if it's a weed or another flower, I don't know. And then these flowers right here, I believe these are the same as these. I think so. I'm not sure, but some of the flowers are blooming, y'all, and they're pretty. I mean, the ones, you know, the ones that flower, they are pretty. And I am trying to promote pollinators to come to my area. I do have 2 bees, and earlier today I came out here, y'all, and they had one bee struggling, crawling on the ground somewhere. I hope I didn't step on her, but I may have had. I'm sorry. This is my second time recording this video, y'all. I came out here yesterday and I recorded the whole video, and then I looked at the footage and it was trash. I considered trying to zoom and crop and edit and all of that, but y'all know. Here are the 8x4 raised beds, and as you can see, it is mostly cleaned out. The lettuce, the spinach, the peas, all of that stuff is cleaned out. The only thing I have left in here are herbs kind of sprinkled throughout. These are leeks, and I'm letting them grow. And then of course we have the cherry tomato trees. And let me give you a look from the back. I came out here yesterday and I just started pruning them yesterday, y'all. That is ridiculous. I let them grow way too big and way out of control. I think I have 2 cherry tomato plants per tomato cage. Y'all know that is not how it's supposed to go. That was not my intention, but y'all, life, and that's all I'm gonna say. But there are cherry tomatoes coming in everywhere. We will have hundreds, if not 1,000 cherry tomatoes. Let me just give you another look around here, and you can see, just let me back up, y'all. I don't want to fall in the pool. But this is how big the plants are, and I believe all of these together are, I believe is 8. I believe this is 8 tomato plants. I am trying to prune and trellis them along these low, whatever I think that, like the ladder cages or ladder wire. I'm trying to trellis them there. They started growing all the way to the front because if you remember, I had kale. I had giant kale and collards that were almost as tall as these tomato plants, but they filled the back of the raised bed, so the tomato plants had nowhere to grow or to lean but forward. So we are going to be eating cherry tomatoes like forever. Y'all remember when I was saying my apple tree was the last thing to wake up? It just wasn't waking up. I didn't have not one leaf. Well, I had old leaves from last year, maybe like 5 or 6 old leaves from last year. I didn't have any flowers, no budding, no new branches, nothing. And I'm telling you, May was the month. I believe it was. Maybe it was like the 3rd or the 4th week of April or the 1st week of May. And this tree just came alive. Flowers, buds, leaves, new branches, beginnings of apples. This is a Fuji apple tree. And let me see, somewhere around here. Oh, wait, hold on, y'all, because we got bees. Wait. Let me, because I'm going to let them do their work. I'm going to let them do their work, y'all. So this is the apple tree. I am so glad that it has burst into life. I foresee many apples coming from off of this tree, and I will be eating all of them. Okay, well, almost all of them, y'all. I might share a little bit. This is my lemon tree. It was full of flowers in the beginning to the middle of April, and then the flowers fell, and I don't see any buds. I think I saw one. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can reach over here. Hopefully the camera is picking up. I see one little remnant of a lemon, and I think that's not gonna make it. So I'm looking for a second flowering, a second budding, or something to happen, because I have plenty leaves, but no more flowers and no lemons unless I just can't see them. These are my 2 containers of the Japanese sweet potatoes, purple on the outside, cream on the inside. And in January, I dumped the 15-gallon bucket of the beautiful slips. And that's exactly what I had, a whole bunch of slips. So I put 2 sweet potatoes in this 15-gallon bucket in the end of September. And in January, I was thinking, okay, I'm going to dump the bucket and I'm going to have sweet potatoes. No, sir, no, ma'am. What I had was a bucket full of slips. So I took some of the slips and I put them in this 45-gallon grow bag, and I put all the rest of them back in here in this 15-gallon bucket. Now, for a long while, y'all, I thought these potatoes were done. I thought they were a goner. I barely had a handful of leaves in the 45-gallon pot that made it, and I didn't hardly have anything in the 15-gallon pot. Well, I had more than what I had in the 45-gallon grow bag, but I thought that they had all died. Aphids really got me this year. They attacked pretty much everything, and I thought that the sweet potatoes, you know, like everything else, I thought it was gone. But now you can hardly see the soil in this 45-gallon grow bag, and you can't see the soil at all in the 15-gallon bucket. Now, the end of this month, sometime between the end of this month and the middle of next month, will be the next 100 to 125 days or something like that, how you calculate where the sweet potatoes are supposed to be ready. And that's about the time that I am going to dump these containers. I'm going to see if I have some sweet potatoes. If I don't have no sweet potatoes, y'all, I'm probably just going to chop all this up and put it in my compost bin, and I'm just going to try it another time. I don't know what else to do. You see all the leaves. I don't have any flowers. Now, some people say wait until you have flowers, and then that's how you know it's time to turn your buckets and see what kind of sweet potatoes you have. Other people say just count between 100. Some people say 120. Some people say 150, 125. So somewhere around that time frame, dump your containers and then see what kind of potatoes you have. I think I'm going to wait until maybe like mid-June. I'm going to see what I have. And if I do have potatoes, that's good. But if I don't, y'all, I'm going to chop all this up, put it in a compost bin, and I'm going to use these containers for something else. This is old bell peppers, y'all. You remember I had the yellow bell pepper. I had orange bell pepper. I had green, red. I had all kind of bell peppers, sweet peppers. I had all the peppers, y'all. And these plants was looking so sad. And I thought they was done and gone for, but they had a little bit of green on it. And y'all know how I am. If it got one highlight of green, I feel like I can't chop it up and throw it away. Y'all, I'm toughening up my skin, though. So these plants are just growing from out of nowhere. I really think that the peppers were waiting for the heat. Peppers, whether it's sweet peppers, hot peppers, pepper plants need heat. And we are in May. And in my area, Southern California, Zone 10, it is May gray, June gloom, and July fry. So May very cloudy and overcast. And as you can see, it is very cloudy and overcast. And it's been like that almost every day this month. It hasn't really rained like talking about it, but it has been overcast. So, and then June gloom, same thing, gloomy, overcast weather. And then July fry, it just get hot. It's going to start getting hot towards the end of June, but in July, you do fry. It gets hot. So, I have some peppers, and then I even see a couple of peppers. Oh, look like somebody been biting up in the peppers. Usually nothing don't really mess with the pepper, the fruit. So the leaves, you know, yeah, they might chew on that, but it looked like something got one of the peppers. But we're gonna see. I got a lot of flowers and buds and stuff on here, so some more peppers might be coming out. Y'all, these are all old. I didn't expect these to survive. I have other seeds waiting to be planted once I finish my overhaul. But this is the pepper plant. This plant and then this plant here, these are the black cobra hot pepper plants. Another carryover from last year. I have a lot of leaves, but I don't have any fruit. I really think for hot peppers, they are waiting for hot temperatures. So it's still very mild here, and the overcast is not helping. So I mean, they're obviously green. There's a lot of new growth on these hot pepper plants, so y'all know I'm gonna leave them. We gonna see what's happening. I ain't in no rush. I have them in these little small containers, so I'm not really in a rush to do anything with them. We'll see what they do. These are my strawberries, y'all. These things going on 4 years, and I know you're supposed to replace your strawberry plants like every 3 years, but these strawberry plants will not die, y'all. They will not die. I had these in a 15-gallon bucket. The ones that look the best and survive, I put them here in this container. It looked like I have one plant that gave up the ghost, but y'all look at how green and lush, leaves all perked up. I mean, I can't dig this up, y'all. I can't throw it away. And then this right here, these things, these are the 10 bare root strawberry plants that I bought from grocery outlet. 10 bare roots for $5, and I think this probably one plant, y'all. So, but I don't know, one plant, $5. We'll see. I have it protected in this tool hood because I didn't want anything getting to the plant because it was so young. It was a bare root. It has grown several sets of leaves since I bought it, because y'all, when I got it, it didn't have no leaves. So I mean, it's doing something. Here is my hibiscus plant, and you can see it is completely dead from the top going to the bottom third, and then there's a bunch of leaves. I am still not sure what's gonna happen because I see life and death in between these branches and leaves, y'all. We gonna let it do what it do. I am gonna be moving, like I'm gonna move this pepper plant, I'm gonna move these strawberries so it'll have the 15-gallon pot all to itself. I'm gonna fertilize it, you know, all of that kind of stuff. I am really looking forward to a healthy hibiscus bush, y'all, because the tea from these leaves, oh my goodness, it is something to wait for. So I'm gonna be patient, and we're gonna see what happens. This little stick, if you could see that, that was the other hibiscus cutting that I got that obviously did not make it. It is dead, y'all. Why haven't I pulled it up yet? I don't know, y'all. And then in this bucket is the other sweet potato that has been buried literally since September of last year, and it has done nothing. Those dead branches and stuff that you see, that's not from the sweet potato, that's from something else, y'all, but it didn't do anything. So I got both of those sweet potatoes from the grocery store. One of them gave me all of this over here, y'all, and then the other one gave me absolutely nothing at all. This is a 35-gallon grow bag, and this is pretty much my earthworm farm. When I was going through and emptying some of the containers and just going around, you know, kind of changing stuff around in the garden, I noticed that the soil had a lot of earthworms. Well, I just started putting them in this grow bag, and the rest is history. So this is like my earthworm farm. So whenever I plant my new raised beds, my new containers, I'm always going to take a couple scoops of soil from out this grow bag with the earthworms and put it in those containers. These branches come from another raised bed. I took them out because I am slowly but surely disassembling the raised bed so I can move it, and I'm going to show you that next. But before I do, I want to show you, so this is my Oya. I think by the time, hold on, let me move this out the way. I think by the time I showed you the Oyas, they were already buried into the raised bed. And as you can see, it's just 2 of the terracotta clay pots upside down. They are sealed together with clear silicone. The bottom of this is also sealed, and then the top is open for me to pour the water in, and then I just put this rock over the top to stop soil and stop bugs and stuff from going on the inside. So this is what it looks like. It's about 10 to 11 inches high. I would say that block that's right next to it is 6 inches high. So it's probably 10 to 11 inches high. And I have 3 of these that I made. And then in my left and right 4x4 raised beds, I use a different kind of terracotta pot, but I use them as Oyas because the terracotta is porous, and so I fill these up and then the water seeps out into the soil. It helps to water the roots of my plants that I can't always reach even when I'm watering from the top of the soil. Here is one of my 2 cherry trees. This is my mini royal, M-I-N-N-I-E, and she now has a sister that she needs to cross-pollinate with her to produce cherries. And I actually have 3 cherries on this tree, y'all. This big old tree, I got 3 cherries. But you know what? It's 3 more cherries than I have had in times past. So here is one of the cherries. The second one is like in the back. You probably can't see it. It is like right there. And then the third cherry is around the other side. So this tree is doing phenomenally well. I am so glad. It is growing. It is healthy. Now this tree is in the ground. So my apple tree, the lemon tree, and this cherry tree are in the ground. And the other trees that I have are in pots. I'll show you that in just a second. But yep, the tree is doing well. 3 cherries, y'all. I need to eat them before the birds do, but I'm trying to leave them on the tree as long as possible so they can be like as sweet as possible. But I'm gonna tear them 3 up like they like 3 gallons. Speaking of gallons, this is one of 3 31-gallon trash cans, and I use these to store my soil in when I'm moving raised beds around. When I'm sifting new soil, I store them in these trash cans if I'm not going to use them right away. Now, the reason why this can is filled with soil is because I am slowly but surely disassembling Aunt Jerry's raised bed. I am going to move this from this location to this location where my table is. And the reason why is because there's a very narrow walkway. Even if you move these trash cans right here, it's a very narrow walkway. And part of the reason is because there is a ground pipe, like access entry behind here, like in between the house and the raised bed. So I had to bring the raised bed out away from the house some, and I lost at least 6 inches of space, 6 inches of walkway. Also, there is a power outlet right underneath the window, if you can see that. And I want to put my table on this side, so when I'm using my soldering iron, if I need to charge my phone, like just anything with a power outlet, it makes more sense to me to have this table over here on this side, and then I can have the raised bed over here on this side. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, probably not, because it's been a while since I did a backyard shenanigans video. But I got this table off of Craigslist. Somebody was selling it for $5. It's an old beat up table, but it serves the purpose. This is just my garden table. I have my supplies on top of it, and underneath it, this bucket is actually going to be my liquid fertilizer bucket. I made it, but I messed up because it's leaking around the spigot, and I tried to seal it up with silicone, but I messed up. It's still leaking, so I need to scrape that silicone off, try again, or use something like Gorilla Glue or just something else to fill in the spot. When I carved out the hole for the spigot, I used my soldering iron and I made the hole just a little bit too big, so when I put the spigot in there, I still had a little gap. Don't worry though, y'all, I'm gonna fix that and we're gonna be on our way. I have a couple different fertilizers and earthworm castings and stuff back here. This has my supplies and stuff in it. I checked it a few minutes before I started recording this video, y'all. Yes, they do have spiders. I sprayed some mint spray, and that's supposed to deter the spiders, and I think it did, but y'all, look, you know, they don't work forever. But I have a lot of garden supplies and stuff in there, and I'll show it to you in subsequent videos. This wood here, part of this is going to be used to make a new soil sifter. Now, this is my soil sifter that I made with a 1/8 inch screen. If you can see like how small that screen is, this is 1/8 inch, and I'll show you the 1/4 inch and a 1/2 inch on the other soil sifter in a minute. But this one got damaged, it's broken, and I need to replace it. I have everything I need, I just have to actually do it. But soil sifters have become very important to me, y'all, because these companies talking about soil, and half the bag is wood chips, bricks, rocks, whole tree limbs, glass, plastic. I need to sift all of that stuff out. So in here on this side, I had carrots, turnips, and radishes, I believe. I'll show pictures if I still have them, y'all. Them carrots wasn't about nothing, but I'm gonna tell you the mistake I made. This whole bed was root crops except for spinach and I think one other thing I had, but this was all root crops, and root crops need phosphorus. You know how they have the NPK number, N for nitrogen, P for phosphorus, and K for potassium. Well, for root growth and root development, you need phosphorus. That's that second number. And I did not refertilize or really build up the phosphorus in the soil. And because every plant in this raised bed was a root crop, and because carrots take the longest to mature, by the time the carrots was coming into their root development, everything else had swiped up all of the phosphorus. So that's why they turned out to be small. Lessons learned for me. I know better and still, didn't do it. So, but I'll know for next time. And you see how deep this raised bed is. It's 17 inches. So it's pretty deep. This area right here was this was like 2 here, and you can see this is not even really half. Now I showed you the grow bags that I have on the patio and the buckets, they already full of soil. This trash can right here, y'all, is full of soil. These two right here, these are the other two, they are 3/4 full of soil already. So I need another solution. I need another solution, y'all, because when I start breaking down these raised beds, I need the soil to put the soil somewhere for these raised beds while I'm switching everything up and around, y'all. So I have a slight dilemma. I'm gonna figure something out though, y'all. Trust that. Now, if you can see this yellow pallet and you see the 4 garden bricks I have, it's 4. You probably, let me see. All right, yeah, so you see the 4. I measured this pallet out with the 4 garden bricks, and I need boards that are 16.5 inches and 28.5 inches to make a raised bed. So my plan, y'all, is to have each pallet be its own raised bed. The bricks are 6 inches tall, so I'm gonna do at least 2 bricks high and make the raised beds 12 inches. That should be deep enough for me to plant whatever I want to. I have 11 pallets, but I'm not necessarily going to make 11 raised beds, but I'm going to make at least 5 or 6, maybe 7 or 8. And by having smaller raised beds, I'll be able to get around everything. I'll be able to reach inside each raised bed. If something is wrong, I can address it with just that plant without disturbing the rest of the plants or like the entire 4x4 or 8x4 raised bed. So that's my reasoning behind it. I also want it to look more aesthetically pleasing. This is not home and garden or nothing like that, but I do want my backyard and my garden to look more like it did when I did the first overhaul. Go back and check out those videos to see how that looked when I first set it up. I really like that setup. It's not going to be exactly like that, but I want it to look aesthetically pleasing like that did. Y'all know I've been hesitating because I got to squeeze past this little spider. I know they got spiders up in this tree, y'all, but let's get to it. Oh, if I forgot to say, so These are garlic. They ready to pull up. I skirted around the soil a little bit, and they're gonna be small, but that's okay because garlic is garlic, and I'll take it whatever size it come. And then on the end here, I have beets. And if the leaves look familiar, you might say, oh, that's Swiss chard. Well, it is. The leaves of the beet plant are Swiss chard. So I can eat above and below. Here is a new addition to the garden. This is a Washington navel orange tree, and I meant to get a dwarf tree, y'all, and I didn't. This is a full-size tree, so this thing is gonna be big. I bought it in a 5-gallon bucket, and then I transferred it to this 15-gallon bucket. When I bought it, it had a lot of flowers on it. Now it has a lot of little baby oranges. I'm not sure how many of these are actually gonna grow into full oranges. I don't know if I should pull these fruit and let the tree concentrate on its roots. For right now, I'm gonna just leave it as it is, and I'm probably gonna end up just leaving it as it is. I'm not gonna mess with it. But this is the orange tree. I've been wanting to replace my old orange tree for a long time, and I finally did. And this is the Royal Lee cherry tree, and this is the sister to my mini royal, which is needed to help cross-pollinate and produce cherries on both trees. I didn't get any cherries off of this tree. Well, I did have like some things that would be cherries, but this is just a baby cherry tree, so I wasn't really expecting anything. I wasn't really expecting anything off of this tree. Oh, y'all, look, here is the third cherry. Y'all, look at that. Oh, that cherry is beautiful. And I really want to get to it before the birds, but I'm just trying to let it get the most sweetness and everything out, y'all, that it can. Here are my hummingbird and my other bird feeders. So we have 2 sets of those. This is my herb garden, which also is going to be overhauled. The basil finally gave up the ghost, y'all, after it gave me many leaves and seeds and everything else. So I'm proud of it. This bucket is either spearmint or peppermint, y'all. I keep forgetting. I think the tag is somewhere down in there, but who gonna dig in there and get it? Not me. I have sage, I have lemon balm, I have rosemary, and I have parsley that has flowered and gone to seed. But I processed so much of this parsley. I dehydrated it. I made powder. I used it in dishes, cooking, seasoning, y'all. Yes, so I got my money's worth. And the last thing that I want to show you is, you remember my 2 compost bins that I made. Of course, I should have chopped up all of those dead branches and leaves and stuff like that so they actually fit inside the trash can, y'all, but I didn't. There's a lot of food scraps, vegetables, fruit, banana peels, eggshells, all of that. But y'all, let me show you if you didn't already see it. To my surprise, what is that, y'all? Somebody tell me what that is before I tell you. What is that? Is that a tomato plant growing out of my compost bin? If you say that, you guess correctly. Now I'm gonna get a little bit closer. I know y'all see all them spider webs, but I just want to show you where it's growing from. Look at that. It is growing from out of one of the holes that I have out the side of the compost bin. And the holes are so oxygen flows through the compost bin to help with the decomposition process. Now, I did have some soil in these compost bins, but not that high. Look how high up that is from the bottom of the trash can. I did not have that much soil. So that tells me right there that the food scraps, the leaves, the vegetables, or whatever I've been throwing in there is obviously decomposing. And I must have had a tomato seed or an old rotten tomato or something in there, y'all. But I have a whole plant. I have a whole tomato plant growing out of my compost bin. Yes, indeed. When you thought you saw everything, from trash to food or whatever you want to call it. Now, will I eat the tomatoes, y'all? I don't know. We're going to see. Let's see what kind of tomato it is first. And then we'll check it out. Here is another look of the yard. This cherry tree is really like taking over. I'm still working on everything, y'all. It's a work in progress. I am hoping that it's probably going to be the end of this summer before my project is complete. by separating all of the raised beds and making each pallet a raised bed. It's going to take a lot of lumber. I need a lot more of these garden wall blocks, but it's something that I want to do. I think I'll be able to grow more fruits and vegetables and herbs and flowers. I think I'll be able to pay better attention and amend the soil specifically for just a few plants that'll be growing in each raised bed, instead of putting the same type of fertilizer, the same type of soil, the same type of amendments across a large 4x4, 8x4, 6x2. I'll be able to use this area, which will pretty much be a 2x3 or somewhere in between a 2x3 raised bed area, much more localized, much more specific, and I'll be able to treat my garden with what it needs for the specific plants and fruits and vegetables and herbs that I'm growing. Y'all, let's get to the front. You know I'm gonna pause this because you know I got to run past this area. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for today's video. There will definitely be more frequent and more backyard shenanigans videos as the summer and the fall and even the winter season progress, and as I progress through my garden overhaul. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, click that notifications bell, share this video, share my playlist, and share my channel with everyone you know. And until next time, be safe, be well, and be blessed.